Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to Prehistoric Kingdom Beta. My name is Swoop there and I am sorry. It's been a hot minute since we have been in Prehistoric Kingdom. Not because of any particular reason. I did have a few episodes ready to go and they released while I was on holiday. I did have one more ready to go and that was of the restaurant and so on. And I decided not to release it because I whinged quite a lot in my voiceover and I thought I sounded really ungrateful. So I decided to cut that out of the uploading schedule. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take you around this backstage area that I have upgraded. Some of you might recognize this little building here and I'll take you around here. I did take some people around it in the stream the other day, and then I will also just quickly show the restaurant, which I have decided I immediately want to change. So let's have a quick look here. I thought that this sort of one little backstage building was pretty unrealistic when it comes to a large dinosaur park. So I've built like a couple of other buildings. So this one here is supposed to be like a little quarantine facility. It's going to service this aviary here and then the other aviary that I'm going to build. You can see down here I have placed a couple of quarantine aviaries. They have some little shutters that can be pulled up and down. So there's an inside bit as well. Let's see if we can change this lighting so it's a bit easier to see. Maybe not. I mean, we could just turn on all the lights. There we go. And then we've obviously just got some clutter around so that it looks a little bit more used. Some hoses. I have put gutters on all the buildings. God, I hate doing gutters, but it does just make things look so much more realistic than just nothing on the edges of the roofs. So that's that building upgraded. I've just popped a little staff area here, like just a little place to sit. And then everything else on this building itself pretty much remains the same. Once again, no interiors unless you can actually see them from the outside, because you never actually really do see them again unless, you know, you're just doing it while you're building. And honestly, they take so long. Hats off to the people that have the patience to do interiors. For example, I've done the interior of this because this is open. So let's head over and have a look. Right, so this building is supposed to be obviously a large storage facility, and also in the back here, also in the back here you've got one of the many vet facilities that will, and larger animal quarantine that will be around this park. And then this is just like a little service building here with a couple of doors. We have some staff parking here, like a boom gate with some little pads where you can type in your code. The boom gate will open, and then around the corner here you have like your I guess area where you can put the dinosaurs in to quarantine. Now the Camarasaurus is only in there because I wanted him just so I could, at the moment he's the biggest dinosaur we have in game, so I wanted one in so I could measure, you know, the roof and the, I guess, some of the areas to make sure that they could actually be in and out of this building. So this area here is supposed to be kind of like the, I guess, the where the vets could actually work on some dinosaurs, and then this is like the vet building or whatever, you know, like all of the offices and things that the vets would need. I've popped quite a few pipes and so on in, and then I have gutted the entire thing, which once again I do hate doing, but I think it looks good. It looks good, guys. And then in here we have just a storage facility with a bunch of buckets and boxes. And these cabinets, I did not make these cabinets. They were made by a creator called Sniper, and he shared, or she shared them on our Discord. And I also did not make the pallets or the shipping container, but everything else was made by me. The pallets and shipping container were made by a creator called Pi. So there we go. So that's those two buildings. Now let's talk about this little building over here. It looks a little bit different and there's a purpose for that. This is like one of the small implied staff rooms. So, you know, in here there would be, you know, a TV, a little kitchen maybe in this area here. There's an area for them to sit outside, maybe some couches, maybe like a bed or two. There might even be like a separate room where there's a bed or two, maybe for those staff that might need to stay overnight for whatever reason, or they've had a long shift and they just need to sleep. And then I've just popped a couple of dinosaurs on this side of the building here. Let's change that lighting up again. There we go. See that a little bit better. And then you can see here I've actually started to put where the roads would be, and these lines are supposed to imply this is where you're allowed to walk. So you can walk sort of around the buildings here, but you're supposed to try and stay off the road. And then we've got Bruno Bollard just telling me how tall humans are in the game. And that's kind of what I got done, guys, in the backstage area. I do apologise for not recording it. I actually thought I was recording it, and I built this whole building, which did take a while. And then, I wasn't recording. So I just finished the entire thing and thought I'll just show you the finished product as it is, and then I will build something else, which is one of the reasons why you haven't had a PK episode for so long. So here we go. I am actually going to build a habitat today. I haven't even decided what habitat I'm going to build. I do have a schedule of what I'm going to build and when I'm going to build it, but I've decided I don't want to build what I was going to build, which is actually an Archaeopteryx aviary, like a little bit more of a modern one, and that was kind of going to go here in this section. I've changed my mind completely, and I want to build like a bigger habitat in here. With a interesting viewing area. I'm going to pop in the reference photo that I'm looking at for this just here so you guys can see, and you'll be able to tell me whether or not you think it looks anything like it when I'm done, and I'm going to see how I go, I suppose. So let's jump into a speed build, and I'll chat to you a little bit in the speed build about what I'm doing and how I am doing it, and then I will come back to you for the real-time part at the end. See you soon, guys. Hey everyone, welcome to the speed build. So I decided to build a Dinochirus habitat and viewing area. The picture that you would have seen just as I was talking in the intro, it doesn't really end up looking anything like that, but the bones, I guess, or the base of the building was really useful for me to look at and kind of get an idea of what kinds of things can be supported and by what. So concrete, actually, because it is so, I guess, tough, I'm not sure if that's the right word, but it doesn't actually need heaps and heaps of support if it's built in an architecturally stable way. So I tried to build it in a way that I thought would be quite stable in, I guess, in today's modern building standards, I suppose. I'm building a downstairs, like almost like just a little snack bar. It's not a cafe or anything like that, because the downstairs area is going to be the main viewing area for this habitat of the Dinochirus, and the upstairs area is actually going to be a restaurant. It starts out as an open air restaurant, and then I decide, no, I want it to be a bit more fancy. I close it in and I put a lot of string lights in it, and I make it kind of look like a kind of a restaurant that you would open at night and for bookings only. So it's kind of like, I guess the rest of the park would probably be closed, and this kind of is another like money-making scheme that they've cooked up to kind of bring in more people, and they have like a fancy chef maybe cooking the food and so on, and people can come and dine with the Dinochirus. You would have seen that as the title of this episode. So I decided to do that and make it separate, completely separate upstairs, so that, you know, during the day it can just be closed, and then it's kind of like a nighttime thing. It opens up at night. I mean, I guess they could also open up at the day, but that's not what I had in mind when I built it, and you'll see kind of all the string lights and so on. It really does set it off nicely at night. So the Dinochirus, I'm not going to talk too much about it because I did speak quite a lot about it in my last episode about the Dinochirus in my desert mini park, which I'll link in the top here for you if you would like to see that. But I will just say, I guess, a couple of things about them. So the first thing is that their name means terrible hand, and the reason for that is actually because when the first fossils of this dinosaur were discovered, it was only the hands and the arm skeleton that they kind of found, and it wasn't until years later that they realised that fossil poachers had actually poached the rest of the Dinochirus skeleton, and they found it, and so they popped it together and they started to, I guess, make more discoveries about it, such as they found rocks in its stomach, which basically means that, you know, or suggests, I should say, that, you know, it was eating plants and things and that needed something in its stomach to help them grind it up. But they also found fish bones and fish scales, which suggested that it was an omnivore. So you know, they learnt a lot after finding that particular skeleton. The interesting thing that I actually didn't know, and I didn't mention in my last video, was about its humped back. And this is still very much speculation, but one of the things that they did say about its humped back is that researchers think that it would have helped balance and support its huge mass on its hind legs. So it looks a little bit like a hump or a sail on its back, and that's what researchers currently think it could have been for. So that's some little interesting facts about the Deinocheirus for you. You can see that I've cut a little bit in my speed build here. There was just so much footage for this particular habitat and viewing area. I end up deciding that this black paint looks a little bit medieval or something, so I end up changing that, and I do cut that out because I was talking to a subscriber the other day and they were saying you never delete, or we don't often see you delete anything that you're not happy with, and it's usually because what I normally do is cut out where I'm deleting stuff, because it just becomes really tiresome to watch just constant different iterations of, you know, a creator going through their process. But I mean, I know that's what a lot of you are here for, but when it gets extremely long, it can be really tiresome. So I have left part of this in so that you can see kind of what it looked like before I decided to change it. You can also see the open air bit. I decided to change that completely as well. And then I go in shortly and I do the actual habitat itself. I did do a massive sort of backstage building as well, and like a shelter for the Deinocheirus, but I've cut that out of the episode because this speed build is already about 15 minutes long, and that's just getting long enough for a speed build in my opinion. So I'm going to leave you to watch the rest of the speed build in peace. I'm going to pop some nice quiet music on, and then I'll be back for the real-time part at the end, where I will show you the backstage building. I will show you all of the small details that I do go in and add in. I did put a few of them into the video because I know a few people said we like to see the small details when you do those, so I have popped a few of them in, and I really hope you enjoy watching the episode. I'll see you in the real-time part at the end. Bye guys. Rightio everyone, welcome back from the speed build, and here we are in the real-time part. I'm going to take you through in the daylight, and then I will show you the Dine with the Dino Kairos restaurant in the dusk when all the little lights are on, because it looks really nice then. We're just here next to the Microraptor aviary. You'll see there's a few little extra things around that weren't built in the episode. I did those on a stream the other day. So we're just going to head through. I'll take you through this building first, and then I will take you to the backstage area. I did pop in this walkway as well, because you might remember that down here where we built the habitat in the last episode, I didn't actually put any ramps. So this is actually a ramp that leads down to there. And there's also one here, but this is potentially going to get deleted because this space will eventually be the other aviary for the Archaeopteryx. So which is why it's still left completely blank. So let's head on through. I've got my little sign here. So, you know, if you're coming in at night, this is the way that you would come. They probably could take those away during the day though, so they've been a bit lazy. And then you come on through this way, and you can come forward to view the Dino Kairos, or you can go down the ramp here. Let's just go forward a little bit so you can see. There you go. You can go down the ramp into the other habitat just here. So let's head on up and have a little look at them. I think there's 5 in here at the moment. That's probably too many though. I just wanted a few in for the screenshots that I did earlier. I like this one's patterns. They look so cool up close. They're really cool animals. I like these ones. There's another one over there. So you can get a decent view, and I've tried to hide the fences as much as I can, although because I have done that, it does mean that I don't have a really nice vista out across the rest of the park. So eventually I might try and change these a little bit and take out some of the trees so that when you're, particularly when you're upstairs in the restaurant, you get a really nice view over the rest of the park. But there we go. So that's the view. And then if you wanted to grab a little snack, you can come here to the snack bar. I've left this area that I'm standing in at the moment fairly blank, because I feel like if it was the main viewing area, it probably needs to be quite blank. I have put in some seating over here just if you're coming over to have a snack or whatever. But I mean, I'm open to suggestions if you guys think that this area could be better utilised. And then if we just turn around the corner here, we'll come this way. There's a toilet here for the guests on the ground level, and then we can come, you can come all the way around, but there's not really much to see except the staircase which leads up to the restaurant, which we're going to view later. So there you go, the Dine with the Dino Kairos restaurant. And what we might do is I'll just take you, we're going to scoot through the forest here, and I'm going to take you to the backstage area that I built in behind here. So let's just scoot through here. And we're in. Never mind that grass that's through the concrete. Alright, we'll just turn around here so you can see. So this is the Dino Kairos backstage area. So you've got some offices and I guess some areas where the keepers would come and prepare food and such for them. And then this is actually their shelter, this big structure here. So we might actually go around, and I can't actually speed this up any further, so we're just going to walk slowly. We'll go around. We're not going to head into any of the buildings because there isn't any interiors. You guys have already seen the other stuff at the start of this episode. So here we have like the gate where they could bring the Dino Kairos in, and then if we just head through here, there you go, we're in their habitat, and there's another keeper door here. I need to fix the roof and so on, but we'll worry about that later. And then that's their, I mean, it's pretty big, their shelter, and there is an implied door as well, a shutter that can come down should you require it. All right, so what we might do now is I'm just going to jump into the evening mode, and I'm going to take you through the restaurant. Okay, here we are, and we are dining with the Dino Kairos. Now, some criticism I have for myself really is I probably could have been a little bit less lazy and maybe done some tables with 2 chairs on them, and maybe some larger tables and so on. But for now, they're all 4-person tables, so they can push them together or they can have less people sitting at them for now. But you can see it looks so cool at night. You've got like the sun setting over here. This is actually at sunrise, but it looks better at sunrise, so we're just going to view it in the morning. And then you can see all the Dino Kairos wandering around in their habitat down there. You've got a beautiful view of, back this way is the entrance to the park, but you've got a beautiful vista across. And then here you've just got staff. This is all staff entrances into the kitchen. This is supposed to be the restaurant pass, but I haven't actually put anything into the back end yet. This is like I guess like an area for the waiters where they can put all their things and so on. Then we've got some pictures here, and then this is another part of the restaurant. I do really love this part because it's all enclosed by glass. This is where you would come in, you'd check in. There are some toilets down to the right here, and then if you are sitting here at this table, you do have a great view down into the Dinocaris habitat. It's a shame we can't see any right now. They must all be below us. There's one right there. So they do come over, they do use the rocks and so on and drink out of the water. So it would just be a really great experience. And then back here you can see sort of part of the backstage building, but I've tried to hide that as best I can from guest view. There's one just coming into view now. So there we have it. Let me zoom back so you get a little bit of a view of this part of the restaurant. I've popped in some planters and things because it was looking a bit bland in here. And then if we come around the corner here, there are some toilets. I did have some coat racks on here, but they must have deleted. Oh, and I did have a door as well. So I'll need to go in and fix that. And then if we just exit out, let's just exit out this door here. Oops, straight out the door. And then we are on the staircase. So we can see a Dinocaris down there, and then we can just head on out. And then it still does say closed on there, but I mean, that's because I didn't change it for the real-time part. There we go. We don't have any first-person view at the moment, so it's really tough to take you around, although I am now using the T button, which someone suggested to me, and that is very helpful. So there we have it, guys. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope you have liked and subscribed. If you haven't, that really does help my channel, particularly being a small creator. It really does help if people comment or like the videos that we create, because that way it helps the algorithm basically just send the video out to more people. Thank you so much for joining me to Dine with the Dinocaris, and guys, I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.